Hello and welcome to 1990. This is session number 11. So I have a very special guest for the 11th session, and that is a lovely friend, Liz Nagle. Liz, welcome to 1990.
Thank you very much, Amanda.
Yeah. Yeah, really nice. So just, giving, as always, giving thanks and praise to all the beautiful people that are in my life, or have been in my life, or have, and you're one of those people that we met, I don't know how many years ago, but it's a few years since you moved to this area. 4 years, okay.
Yeah, 4 years.
And we've shared lots of special moments together.
Yes, we have, because you're one of the special people in my life too.
Oh, bless you, bless you, bless you. And I love the title, Following My Heart, that you gave. Do you want to tell us a bit about what you mean by that, Liz?
Sure. Well, when you asked me to, to think of something specific, I thought, well, what's the main tool that I use? What is the thing that I go to when I start to feel myself closing down, or fearful or vulnerable or whatever? What is it I go to turn that around? And it's following my heart. But I wasn't always able to do that. It might sound strange, but it took a broken heart to help me to find this path, really, to peace, that I've truly found that I never knew before, and I certainly, at the time that my heart was shattered, I didn't think I would ever feel peaceful again. So what happened was my partner died, as you know, and it was just like, my heart was completely decimated. Decimated. It was like, I'm laughing now, but it wasn't funny, and it still isn't funny. But my heart felt like a black hole, really, a black hole. There was no light. Nothing could survive there. I was living like a zombie. And, just on autopilot all the time. It's since come to my notice that I was probably living on autopilot a lot of my life anyway, and I think a lot of people do. But this was pure survival. I was just going about life and do what I really needed to do and nothing else. But it was during that time that, that I started to realize how much I was being helped and how fortunate I was to be surrounded by people who really cared about me and took care of me and were very patient with me. And it was like feeling so safe with them. Initially I was just kind of absorbing it all, and just doing what they told me, and not really thinking anything for myself. And not really, I didn't care whether I lived or died at that point, I think. But they were so I just, everywhere I went, I mean, not just friends and family, but strangers were so kind and so compassionate and open, and like nothing I'd ever really, well, that's not true, I guess. I had experienced it before, but I hadn't appreciated it before.
Yeah, you hadn't been so aware of it, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I always have had the opinion that people are basically good. But now I was really experiencing it. And was traveling the world. I was on my own, and people were, you know, just reaching out to help me. Strangers, taxi drivers, uh, anybody, people on the street, everybody was helping me. And that just sort of started to set a few sparkles in the black hole.
Sparkles, that's a great word, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Sparkles.
Isn't that's beautiful that, you know, you might just be being yourself, you know, doing what you do as a taxi driver, as a road sweeper, as somebody that works in the airport, and just being yourself and you know, letting the energy of love, if you like, run through you. We don't realize how important that might be to somebody who's,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
sort of feeling that this illusion, if you like, of this black hole. And no one's saying it wasn't real, right? Like, no one's saying that that pain, it certainly would have felt real at the time,
It
you know,
felt at the time.
and will do. Every time you think about it now, I guess, right, you can bring it back. You know, you can bring it back. But what you're saying is it's changed. That's what I'm hearing. You're saying
It's totally changed.
so it's
Yeah.
got this grip on you that it had before, or what do you, what, you know, if anybody else was watching this video and they're feeling in a similar position, or what is it that, I'm not asking you to give anyone advice or anything, I'm just, what was it for you? What was it that the dark feeling kind of started to just get
Well,
lighter?
when I started to notice how and appreciate how kind people were being, and just actually the gratitude that came up in me, the gratitude. I mean, I just felt, I, because at the time I was very vulnerable. I was really vulnerable. In hindsight, I didn't feel vulnerable at the time because I honestly felt invincible. I didn't care whether I lived or died, as I said. So vulnerability wasn't an issue for me. And I think that actually is my go-to place now. Just don't give a damn. Just don't give a damn, Liz, whether you live or die. What, give it, that doesn't describe it properly, because I do think that this is a very precious life, and I do really appreciate what, you know, everything that I have, just being able to breathe, being alive, I really appreciate. But I do my best to live every moment, but if that doesn't work, that's okay. You know, if a bus hits me, so be it. I'm not going to live my life living without fear of dying or losing my identity. That was the other thing, that when you are completely shattered like that, your whole identity is shattered. You know, I lost grip on who I was, my story. My story about me was irrelevant at that point. I realized that everything that I believed or thought about who I was, how strong I was, how independent I was all rubbish. It didn't matter in the moment. It didn't matter. You know, if I was, yeah, it's like I was able to just start every moment again.
So this following your heart, this, you know, I think maybe that's like what I would use the word wisdom. I think when you talk about this following my heart, it feels like I'd sort of say following the energy of love, or following wisdom, or following that.
Yeah, but
is that what you mean?
Sorry, why I say my heart is because I go around now. I've developed a habit of checking in on this space here and see how is it and how am I feeling. And you know, as I'm going around just living my life normally, things happen. You know, somebody takes your parking space, or somebody does something to irritate or annoy me. which is, if there's minor irritations these days. But if I start to feel I'm shutting down, or I'm closing in, or I'm getting protective, or I'm getting, if I'm feeling vulnerable, and that starts to kind of close in this area here, my heart, then I know now to just stop and think, what's bringing up that feeling of defensiveness? What's that? And could I actually choose what thought preceded that feeling? Because I had to have a thought that made me feel vulnerable. So, can I choose a different thought? What's the exact opposite of that thought? Not vulnerable, free, loving.
It's interesting, isn't it? Like, I don't know if we choose our thoughts, but what I do see is that as a thought, thoughts are always popping in neutral in their being, if you like. And that checking in that I hear you saying is probably what I would call deep listening to ourselves. And I know that whatever sort of, I use the word level of consciousness, or wherever I'm at, is how I'm going to make a story of that thought, how I'm going to seduce that thought. And it can come out as, depending where I'm at. So if I'm in a low mood, I've got low level thinking, it's going to be some expression of fear. And I'm going to feel it as irritable or annoying, as if every person has gone out to get me, And the more that I think that what I'm hearing, the more that you've understood how that isn't, that's not how it works. It's you, like, it's just where you're at. Because another day you're like, oh well, he got this parking space, I didn't. I'll go around the block, And a day when you're low, it's like who does he think he is, Cheeky little so and so or whatever. But it's just the same thing. This parking space is there, and one of you got it, and it's kind of,
it's that thing of we don't see things as they are, we see them as we are, and so if you're a rhinoceros with a horn sticking out, you're going to see everything with a horn. So
that's so true. It is whatever we think it is.
It really is. But so if I can choose not to have that thought, it's not even that I switch it for a happy thought. It's not. It's not.
We can't.
It's not Pollyanna. Pardon?
I'm saying it's not, because I don't think we can't do that. We can just see that there's another. Like, once you're aware that there's always a zillion perspectives to see something at, you're caught up in that one. So that there's there's another
infinite variety of perspectives, and they're all equally valid. And that's the thing, is that so I say, so this thought that I'm having is making me feel uncomfortable. It's making me suffer. It's giving me pain. So is there another thought, that I could have that's equally as valid, that's equally or true or truer? And how do I feel when I have that thought? And I pick one that's just as true, but it's like a penny drops. It's not a facade. It's not a pretend thought. It's not well, I'm just going to turn this into a positive thing. It's like the penny drops, that what I was thinking wasn't the only side to this, wasn't the only truth.
And that is so important, when we get to see that just because a thought pops into our head, it doesn't mean it's true.
No. And in fact, what I've discovered, for me anyway, but I think this is true for all, when we have a thought that makes us shut down, that's an untrue thought.
You're so right. The moment, how do we know if something is truth? Because it feels good.
It feels good.
When it doesn't feel good, I know that I've got fearful thinking. It's so simple, really.
It's so simple. That's why I say I just follow my heart, and I check in. I keep checking in. I got into the habit of just doing that constantly, especially when I feel myself shut down. Um, I do this because that's how it feels. It's like I have to protect my heart. Um, and so I just, I'm checking in all the time, which also has the knock-on benefit of bringing me into the moment and bringing me into alignment.
And there's something, isn't it? Because it's not like you're walking around with a checkbook, you know, how am I feeling at 13:03?
Oh,
How am I feeling at 30? It's just your awareness. There's something so precious when we are more, our awareness is more woken up, and we get to see, oh, I'm not feeling good. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm not feeling good. So I've got funky kind of something going on up here. Okay, probably best not to listen to that voice at the moment. But equally helpful when you've seen that, when somebody else is not in such a good mood, that you know that's okay. It's just their thinking, and that's going to change with the wind, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
and that stops you from chasing people around car parks, right, or whatever, like with a bag to hit them over the head.
Like, oh, bless. They obviously needed the space more than I did. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I would have taken it from them. So
I love that. That's gonna, you know, I think that's a really nice place to leave it, because
yeah,
let just deep listen and follow your heart and keep it simple, and you know,
that's the simplest tool that I have.
we're good to
How
go.
do I feel?
We're good to go. Liz, thank you, my sweetheart. Thank you for everything that you're doing for the community and for, you know, your groups, and yeah, I look forward to having some more special moments with you in the years ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Amanda, and thank you to you too. You do wonderful work.
Oh, bless you. Well, we're all doing our little bit in whatever way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, and thank you to all you lovely people who are listening. We'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye then. Bye.